After Avengers Endgame, Marvel's had some pretty bad hiccups. Nothing could really live up to the films, it was just miss after miss. Most people were wondering whether we will ever see the Avengers again, and if not, who will replace them? And in this year, out of nowhere comes Thunderbolts. Asterisks. And that is the last time I'm gonna call it that.
What kind of stupid name is that?
So let's just talk about the story first. CIA Director Valentina Allegra is sending several of her agents on an assignment to get a promotion. Among them are former Black Widow Yelena Belova, Ghost, and ex-Captain America John Walker. They show up at the same location and start a big fight. Then the bunch realizes that they got themselves in a trap, so they reluctantly team up and stumble upon a civilian named Bob, who also joins the Misfits' escape.
Who are you?
I'm Bob.
What are the odds that this guy actually plays the same role or the same character in two separate movies?
What do they call you?
Bob?
Did I get the memo about an Easter egg or something? I think that's weird, but it's also kind of fun, so anyways. During a standoff, Bob sacrifices himself so they all can get away and escape. They actually make it, but they're still miles and miles away from civilization. But then they get picked up by Yelena's father, Red Guardian, and Winter Soldier Bucky Barnes, who helps them out. They regroup and come up with a plan to save Bob and stop Valentina for good. But they might be up against more than they thought. So far so good, but is it actually a good movie? From what I heard online, opinions are pretty divided. I actually think the movie is a step into the right direction for Marvel. It doesn't feel like it wants to whack you over the head with its themes and messages, and doesn't push a new Avenger team on you. The characters are very well aware of how unfit they are for the job, and it's pretty clear they won't replace the Avengers we all know. Most of the time, they even come off as likable and funny. The film owes a lot of that to some of the better characters like Yelena and Alexei, aka the Red Guardian. You see, Florence Pugh doesn't just kick ass, but also conveys how much she longs for a family that she never had, in Alexei, who also cherishes her like a daughter. David Harbour has that role down, and basically plays a twist between Homer Simpson and his character Hobbs from Stranger Things. Wyatt Russell also gives a proper performance as John Walker, who is a failed Captain America contender trying to get back into the good graces of the public. On the other hand, I really had my problems with Sebastian Stan, who seemed like he didn't want to be in this film at all. Same goes for Hannah John Kamen's character Ghost, whose real power was to be super irritating, and for some weird reason, even Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who I loved in Seinfeld, just didn't work for me either. It always seemed like she was way in over her head for her to come off as intimidating at all. Story-wise, Thunderbolts tries to not take itself too seriously, but at the same time, it goes off into depths of heavy drama. They introduce the Void, which can consume people, and it's clear that they meant to make it an allegory for depression. But in order for that to work, you have to give the story a lot of leeway with its decisions. The movie basically takes 5 misfits and puts them in together as an involuntary replacement team for the Avengers. They are underdogs who got dealt a bad hand in life. But despite all their bad deeds and personal problems, they still want to do good and help people out. Not a bad idea, and a universal message I can get behind, but Marvel already did that with Guardians of the Galaxy. And even DC tried it successfully with James Gunn's Suicide Squad. And I liked some parts of Thunderbolts, but in my opinion, I thought Guardians as well as the Suicide Squad handled it better. Now you might think, why is that? It's because Thunderbolts' tone is all over the place. It struggles under the sheer mass of Marvel humor and makes scenes, which are supposed to feel menacing, very awkward. The film takes until the end of the last third to build up some sort of tension, and that's unfortunate, because in itself, it's a really good concept. I think next time they should go for a more natural humor and not try to fit in a gag at every corner like Airplane, because at this pace, they're gonna add a laugh track soon.
Don't worry, she's bulletproof. What happened to bulletproof? Bulletproof-ish!
And that shit is just following you everywhere. So if you got the spare cash, give it a go, but don't expect too much. And if you got a Disney Plus subscription, you won't miss out on it in the theaters if you eventually watch it at home. Thank you for staying this long till the end of this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell icon so you'll know when I crank out another video. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.